tumor.
Are you doing the intro?
No, I don't know the intro. I don't remember.
Today's travel talk show.
Yeah,
That's what it's called.
something like that.
Someday we'll remember. Anyway, we are coming to you from Oregon, and we've been in Oregon, I don't know, like an hour. But coming from Washington to Oregon, there was so many. You come over a bridge. It actually reminded us very similar to coming from Superior, Wisconsin into Duluth, Minnesota. Go over this big bridge over the water. But then down below, their industry was something with logs. So, like, I don't know.
There's like a million dollars.
I was going to say a million, but then sorry, here, leave around the corner. I was going to say that, but then I didn't know if that was too high. But there were so many. Tons of logging trucks, which was neat. And then we just came over this Cornelius Pass, which was a lot of zoop, zoop, zoop. And there's a bunch of, like, dump trucks.
Oh, yeah.
And then they're pulling trailers of, like, basically another dump truck without the actual truck part. But their connection between the two, they're nowhere close. Like, the truck and the trailer are nowhere close. The bar that connects them could fit a whole nother.
Yeah, they're like 10 feet apart.
But it's weird. I don't know if that helps them with that, because they're all going through that pass too. Which Jason and Emmett and Ethan, we lost them. Not really. We don't know where they are.
Yeah.
But we had to stop, and they just kept going. And so, if that's the same route they took, that might not have been a super fun drive for them. It wasn't awful though, but it was
just
back and
twisted.
forth. Yeah.
Now that we've left Washington, there's no more Washington heads on the exit signs, so that makes me happy.
I haven't really noticed the Oregon.
They just
Haven't noticed their signs, except for their speed limit signs. Most of them just say speed. But nobody seems to follow it anyways, because on like a highway, like a more of an interstate highway now, the speed limit was 55, and most other areas probably would be 65 or 70, and that's clearly what everybody else was going. But the speed, I don't know. I said ow because where we were at last, our campground had so many, I think we could fairly say millions of blackberries and blackberry bushes, and we picked a lot.
We picked half of them.
Half a million blackberries we took. I'm not convinced I don't still have part of a thorn, a pricker in my finger. They hurt. They got us a couple times.
Yeah, I had one in my leg, and then it stuck in my leg, so it had to be pulled out.
Clawed our hair when we tried to get in to get some berries. We have holes in our shirts.
Yep. I wore overalls, denim overalls, and poked through that still.
I am surprised with that.
They were prickly, that's for sure.
That's for sure. We were going to talk about camping and cooking.
Oh, yeah.
So we are starting to get back to what would be quote unquote normal cooking for us. When we first started when we did the inspection, the guy that did the inspection said that our stove and oven didn't work. Well,
He was a liar.
So Jason went to look at it, and once he started the pilot light, it cooks. So we've been cooking outside, but when it's windy and stuff, or if the weather's not awesome, it takes longer, I think, just because the wind blows and cools things down. So we're cooking inside on the stovetop, and that's been going pretty well, even though gas, it still kind of freaks me out. But just this past week or two, we started, Jason got the oven to work. And so the very first thing we made was taquitos. The kids were excited. They've yet to make a frozen pizza. We've been using that more regularly, so I feel like we're starting to get, sorry, I'm not driving off the road. The rumble strips are just they come into the road. Anyway, well, there's their sign just little plain thing. Like last night, we were able to have chicken and then roasted sweet potatoes and cabbage, which was delicious. So we haven't been eating crazy ridiculous different than what we did at home, but I am glad that we can get back to
we have more options now.
What I would like to do, and we have used the microwave, so then anybody that got a tour saw that we have a microwave in there, but we hadn't used a microwave in our house for like 2 years.
Yeah.
Is that right? A year and a half. We just cooked everything on the stovetop when that microwave died, because it's not great for you. So we didn't know if we were going to use it or not, but it has come in handy a couple times for quick reheats of things and soups for breakfasts, although I still would prefer to do that on the stovetop, but we've used it a few times, but not that often. What I was going to say is I'd like to do more cooking on a fire.
Oh.
And you wanted to make stuff on fire too.
Yeah.
Like soup. Like all day.
Soup cauldron.
Yeah. That we haven't done much of. Even s'mores.
Yeah.
I think we've done once or twice. We've had to make microwave s'mores a couple times just to have a treat. That's a pretty fun deserted building, but it's all turquoise, major turquoise, and then blue trim. We haven't been able to have fires. I don't really remember quite where the cutoff was.
Kind of North Dakota.
Where we couldn't have them anymore.
Montana, I guess maybe.
When we were in North Dakota, you could have them, but not at the RV sites. You had to go over to one of the tent sites, and we didn't do that. We have not had a fire since we left Wisconsin, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah,
Because we haven't bought any. Well, you have to buy wood at that campground or within that county. A lot of places we haven't been. Some places we've been, we wouldn't have wanted to sit outside for super long. Anyways, but that leads us into one of the fun things that's great to make on a fire. We asked if anybody had any favorite things they like to make or things that we should make. And we said we were going to pick, or Annabelle was going to pick the most impressive or her favorite one to send a rainbow radish sticker to. Well, we haven't had very good internet service, but the last I looked, we only have one entry, which is a good entry, and it's good because I think Annabelle probably would have picked it. Which is what?
Pudgy pies.
What are pudgy pies?
They're bread and pie filling, and you just toast them over the fire, and they taste good.
So it's a special pudgy pie maker.
Yeah.
Which we have under the oven right now. That's a hardcore man right there. Do you have to butter them?
Yeah.
I had never had a pudgy pie, I don't think, until I met your dad. So it's bread, which I think you butter, and on the outsides, like you do grilled cheese. And then it's a special, that building's vibrant purple with checkerboard garage doors. It's a special maker. You want to explain it?
Sure. It's just like two metal squares that you put together.
They clamp together. I'm going to show you what I'm driving. One, like two on each side.
Yeah.
And then you put the bread, a little pie filling, and then bread, and then toast it over the fire. It's a fun treat. So most people probably know about it, but I didn't know. I'd never had one until I was an adult. And I think most people in my family like cherry the best.
Yeah, I don't think that is. I probably won't eat them if they're not cherry.
I do have a container of a can of cherry pie filling with us.
We can make hand pies instead of
We make hand pies. Belle does want to make some bread.
I do.
I made a blackberry pie the other day, which I'm told turned out pretty well. We also made blackberry jam. So you can cook in an RV, you just don't have very much space and the oven is teeny tiny. My
You can darn near fit a whole turkey in there.
cookie sheets, you can tell that's right. The cookie sheets are little. They're probably not quite half, probably a little bigger than half of what I used to use, and I used to use 2 cookie sheets at a time, like to roast vegetables or cook chicken in the oven, and now I'm down to half-ish of 1. So you don't get very much space. But Belle was making a comical joke because when we got a tour online, you want to tell the story?
When I got a tour online, it was just of a model of this, right? It wasn't the one we bought, or was it the one our RV that we bought?
It was another open range, but it actually wasn't this model.
No. So we were taking an online tour of another open range one time online, and the guy giving us the tour opened up the oven and said, "You can darn near fit a whole turkey in there." So, I think so. That would be a really small
Maybe
turkey.
a Cornish hen.
Yeah.
I think a chicken would even be. We're in the Tillamook State Forest. This drive is pretty. It's a lot of trees, a lot of green trees, both deciduous and evergreen trees. It's quite a mixture. Some of them are starting to change colors. It'll be really pretty, I'm sure, when it all changes colors. What else do we have today? Anything?
Oh, I think the selfie stick setup worked good for this though. Except for it slid around a couple times.
Travel tip. We didn't come up with a travel tip.
Have lots of snacks, but not salty ones. Because if you have salty ones, then you have to drink water.
You still need to drink water.
You do, but if you have salty ones, you'll drink more.
Oh yeah, that was one of the things with our outdoor kitchen was there's a refrigerator in our outdoor kitchen. It's like, on travel days and all the slides come inside the RV, you can't get to the refrigerator. It's blocked. And you can't open it because what's that thing called? The island. It's smushed up against the island. So we were going to use the outdoor refrigerator on days that we were traveling.
But our inverter won't run both.
But I don't think it's the best situation anyways, because usually we start driving and we're in 2 different cars, and so we've just come down to packing individual lunches, and then everybody can eat whatever they want. Because especially like today, we had to stop, and they're still going.
And if they had the food, I would be so hungry.
It really would be. But so Belle's travel tip is snacks, lots of snacks. I'm a fan of having more than you need, but you guys always seem to gobble them up.
Can you please get off my...
Well, that's not more than you need, then, is it?
Elevation 1,000 feet. All right, with that, friends,
Au revoir.
have a great day.
Bye.